it was all around just a great effort. You know, we're really strong as a team right now. Really nice to have a short turnaround. We had a really good race, battled all the way to the end. Great pit stops from the ERA guys, and you know, good job from Dwight at the start to hand the car over to me in P3s. I think we're in the points lead now, championship points lead, so that was the goal coming here, and looking forward to a short turnaround for Mid-Ohio.
So from Laguna, we actually stayed, threw a setup in the car, and went straight to Mid-Ohio. But it was a mad dash. We were actually looking pretty good, especially like riding off that high of the back-to-back podiums from Sebring and Laguna. So we're all feeling confident. We got badass drivers, badass crew, badass car. Like, we're ready to rock. And, you know, first practice showed that.
Yeah, so Mid-Ohio is it's a really cool track. It's for being in the middle of Ohio, that you think of as like flat land. There's actually a lot of elevation there, a lot of tight corners and some like strange off-camber corners. There's kind of a mixture of things. There's only a couple of high-speed corners. Turn 1 there is a really high-speed corner, and it kind of merges with the pit lane. And then the rest of the lap is a lot of work on traffic management to get through it cleanly. I think that's the biggest challenge of Mid-Ohio, is just dealing with the traffic. That's one of the aspects of it. It's an old school track that was built when tracks were that narrow and cars were narrower, and hasn't been widened like a lot of the modern tracks now. They've widened in places or added runoff. We knew coming into the season that it might be a tricky season for personnel, mainly because of COVID. So we planned ahead and we brought extra people to Daytona, Sebring, because it allows us some flexibility. If somebody goes down because of COVID, because they're sick with something else, we're down a man, but we're not sacrificing anything. We have enough people to move around of similar experience levels where we can just slot people in different places. So Broadwell started with us this year. I worked with him at a previous team, and he was a car chief, crew chief kind of position there. And so when we brought him in here, he was one of many mechanics, and we were kind of feeling people out. He's really taken that and running with it. So he's gotten a lot put on him at this point, but he's doing really well, and yeah, I'm really proud of him.
So I'm Jonathan Broadwell. I do anything and everything that's needed, pretty much. Wherever there's a void, whatever I need to do to get the job done, I'll do it. Any part of the program, if I need to do carbon repair, if I need to work on the car, if I need to, you know, organize stuff, that's me. So.
Whereas today we went this way.
Yeah.
So today we just go back one, but not too much. I look like I'm struggling, but that's because I am. There's not much space in here. Yeah. This is all I have to work with, is a little hatch here. We're just prepping the car for the race tomorrow, which is a whole new day, which means the car needs to be prepped again. We're just making some changes to the front. Specifically, I'm doing the steering rack right now. What time did you do it? Did Rich do this bolt up? Maybe I'm just weak. I had a big lunch. Or maybe my lunch wasn't big enough. Nice one, mate. See, I loosened it for you.
over the wall, it's tough to try to see everything, to focus on everything. It happens so fast. Unless it's specifically on our agenda, when we go over the wall, it's really hard to notice stuff. So the beauty about this sport is you don't really have the time to reflect. You just have to keep going. There is no stopping. You take, what you've either done well or done poorly with, and you learn from it and you move forward. We were in really high spirits coming into Mid-Ohio. We were looking really good. Didn't really work out in our favor though. Somewhere along the line in the race, we broke something on the car, and during the pit stops we couldn't see it. It wasn't until we got the car back to the shop that we found out we bent the suspension. And that was pretty devastating because, halfway through the race we were just like, what happened? Like, we didn't have the pace anymore and started falling back. We couldn't keep up.
It's always worrying. Everybody always wants to win every weekend, right? That would make life easy if you have a bad weekend, but that's rarely the case. You're almost always balancing good and bad weekends. If you can stay in the top 3 spots every weekend, you're almost guaranteed to win the championship, because one person dropping out of that top 3, if you're still scoring podium points, you're probably going to be there at the end.
You can bring as much skill as you want to the table, as much money, talent. It doesn't matter sometimes. It'll only get you so far. The rest is luck. And if the cards fall in your favor, then it's all right.
You definitely learn more from a bad weekend than you do from a good weekend. It's easy to come away from a podium and go, look at all the things we did right. But on a bad weekend, you come away and it's glaringly obvious all the things that went wrong. And so that really sets in, I think. And so I think that taking those lessons from the worst weekends and making the improvements so that stuff doesn't happen again is really important. And when you have a bad weekend, all you can do is improve really from there.